Hi guys, welcome and thank you for joining me. It's American Movie Freak Tracy here. I want to talk about the film Air. Air is rated R for severe profanity and the runtime is 1 hour and 51 minutes. Air opened in theaters on Wednesday, April 5th. Stars Matt Damon as Sonny Vaccaro.
I'm willing to bet my career on one guy. My name's Sonny Vaccaro. I'm with Nike.
Do you typically make it a habit of showing up at people's front doors unannounced?
I don't like to take no for an answer. Oh, man. Here we go.
This film is based on the true story of how Nike signed Michael Jordan as an NBA star with a featured athletic shoe, specifically, in this case, of course, for the NBA. What's so incredible about this story is that at the time, Nike was the third company out of three as far as market share is concerned for basketball athletic shoes at the time, behind Converse, which had approximately 52% of the market share, and Adidas had 31%. Nike's share was only 17% at the time, and so the fact that they signed Michael Jordan became a Cinderella story in and of itself. Now, I did some research to try to make sure that the stats that I'm giving you were completely accurate, and short of going and seeing the movie again, because the actual stats are shown in the movie. They are just shown on the screen, so I didn't get a chance to take a picture of it while I was there. But I tried to do some computer research to find out, but was unable to find anything definitive. So going from my memory, I'm pretty sure that Nike's market share was about 17%. And the other ones are, if they're not exactly accurate, they're at least somewhere in the ballpark. Pun intended. The film also stars Ben Affleck as Phil Knight, who was the founder and CEO of Nike.
Sonny, I brought you in here to grow the basketball business.
Jason Bateman portrays Rob Strasser.
You would have to have a pretty compelling pitch.
I can tell him the one thing the other companies can't compete with. Our basketball division is terrible.
I do not love it.
Viola Davis plays Dolores Jordan, Michael Jordan's mother.
A shoe is just a shoe.
Until my son steps into it.
Chris Tucker plays Howard White, who worked for Nike as well.
It's a Converse.
NBA All-Star shoe.
And Chris Messina plays David Falk, who was Michael Jordan's agent.
You show up at the house!
As I mentioned, it's based on the true story, which takes place in 1984. One of the other things I love is music, and specifically 80s music. And in this movie, Air, they have a huge collection of fantastic 80s music that I ended up tapping my foot to throughout the entire film. The music selection in the film was fantastic, and one of my favorite parts of the film. This is slightly a spoiler alert, but not really. It's just a single line, but it's interesting that they have Matt Damon as Sonny Vaccaro. While he's on the phone with Dolores Jordan, he utters the phrase, "Just do it," which is kind of a nod to the Nike marketing phrase, "Just do it." In my research to prepare for this review, I found that this film Air marks the 20th collaboration of Matt Damon and Ben Affleck together, whether they are featured as actors or behind the scenes. Of course, the most notable collaboration of those two actors is arguably Good Will Hunting from 1997. It's widely known in Nike lore that there is some debate on the source of who came up with the name of the shoe Air Jordan. Some claim that David Falk, Jordan's agent, came up with the phrase. And others believe that Peter Moore, the man who is responsible for the original Air Jordan design, is the one who came up with the name Air Jordan. In the film, they have a little bit of fun with that. An interesting caveat I found also while doing research was that Peter Moore passed away 1 month prior to the start of the filming of Air. When I first went into the film, I had this thought in my head and I wondered how they could make a film about this topic, but I really feel like they did a great job of encompassing the history surrounding the signing of Michael Jordan, and the way that they presented it on the screen was done in a unique way. You never see Michael Jordan's face at all in the film, and they did that on purpose. They did a good job of bringing in comedy and using humor to lighten up the mood throughout the film. I was pleasantly surprised that the film was not boring. It actually brought me along, and I think the music, at least for me, did a good job of keeping me engaged in the story. It's very interesting to see the tactics that Sonny Vaccaro used, and ultimately how he was able to achieve the signing of Michael Jordan to Nike. At the time, Michael Jordan was a big proponent of the Adidas shoe. In fact, that's the shoe that he wore most of the time. Another interesting thing that I found that I hadn't known is that most people know that Michael Jordan wore two separate numbers in his career in the NBA. One, of course, being his more popular one, 23, and the other one, 45. Well, the film was released on April, which is 4, 5th, which is 5, representing the 45, and of course we're in 2023. So if you look at the date 4/5/23, it represents the two numbers that Michael Jordan wore in his career. I give Air a 7.5 out of 10. I think it would have been a little bit higher for me if there hadn't been as much profanity. Really, there was one scene that kind of pushed it over the top for me. There's a few scenes where Sonny Vaccaro is talking on the phone to Agent David Falk, but one in particular when David Falk is very ticked off at Sonny Vaccaro for something that he did. He just goes off on a rant for quite a while, and there's a lot of profanity and a lot of colorful language, for the lack of a better term, and it goes a little bit far and is sustained a little bit too long, in my opinion, which is why it didn't receive higher marks. I did enjoy the film in terms of the music and learning about the story. We all know going into it that Michael Jordan eventually signed with Nike, but it's how it happened that is interesting and unique. That's it for this review. Thanks so much for watching. Again, as I say in every video, if you'd like to send me an email, please do so. You can send it to AmericanMovieFreaks@protonmail.com. Until next time, I hope to see you at the show.